Okay, so now we're ready to draw our final. So we're going to show you a little bit how to arrange these items on your paper. You've already done this in your thumbnail sketches, but I want to make sure that you remember some of the really important concepts. So you're of course going to have Indian corn. You can have a large or a small pumpkin in your composition. A variety of gourds. I like these for the different sizes and the different textures. A lot of them are very bumpy, and also a variety of colors. So I'm going to start with the Indian corn. You can do it on a diagonal, typically works best since it's such a long object. And this is something that's definitely going to go off the page. So I want you to draw nice and big. I don't want tiny little drawings and then an entire farm and barn setting in the background. We're focusing mostly on this. You're going to make sure that you have a horizon line. It doesn't have to be in the middle. And like I said, it can be outdoors, or this could just be a table and a wall in a room. There's not going to be too much detail on the background. So I'm going to start with my Indian corn and just play around with a few different ways that I can arrange this. So drawing big is the first thing, and then the second thing is to overlap. I see a lot of kids that are doing things like this, touching like that. That's not overlapping. Overlapping is making something go in front of it or behind it, like that, okay? So don't be afraid to overlap. Don't be afraid to let your objects go off the page. They should go off the page in two different areas. So the husk of your corn will probably be one of them since it's so long. And this is actually probably shorter than it really is because we know that it's longer than the actual cob of the corn. So I can overlap one of my gourds here and maybe a couple of the objects there. I have said that I like odd numbers when we're doing these arrangements. They just tend to work better if 3 objects or 5 objects. So maybe in my drawing I might make one of these larger and eliminate something like that. We don't want too much negative space, too much of that background space, so I might want to even add another Indian corn or something like that. Another common mistake that I find are people that are just making floating objects. Like they just would put the gourd on top of the husk like that. Now, technically, you may be able to get that to balance there for a quick second, but that's not realistic. You can't say that that's leaning on that. This black part is the table. This is the background. So right now it's just floating in midair. And the last thing I keep seeing students struggle with is the horizon lines. You have to think of this as a table or any surface, and it has an end. This is the end of it. Everything does not sit on top of it like this. That's not how it works. Yes, items sit on top of a table, but try it right now. Place a pumpkin on your desk and see where it sits on the desk. You can see the back of your desk, but the item sits right in the middle of it somewhere. So you can stagger this. They can go above the horizon line, or they don't have to, but it doesn't sit on top of that line. So I'm going to start with this, and you can play with my actual props, photograph them, put them in our little setup studio to see how exactly you would like this set up if you're struggling. If you're feeling really ambitious, you can do 5. I recommend 4, and I do not recommend trying to draw the dreaded pine cone. You can try. I would love for you to try and succeed. I just see a lot of people that have a really difficult time trying to draw these little guys. So, happy drawing, and please let me know if you would like to arrange a composition with our actual props to help you understand this better.